and thank you for joining us for today's Cherry Becker webinar. We are thrilled to have you here. My name is Steve Thatcher, and I am a senior associate with our digital advisory team and focus on training and product demos. As a Microsoft Alliance partner, we have a great presentation planned for today, and we'll focus on helping you get the most out of your Microsoft investment by exploring solutions for challenges you may be facing relating to data, process automation, and other pain points. Hopefully, after today's webinar, you will feel ready to use many of Microsoft's capabilities to drive growth, reduce cost and risk, and streamline operations. Our lineup of speakers today has decades of experience working with these products and working with companies and clients to recommend solutions. I would like to introduce our panel. First, we have Jake Siegel, Cherry Beckert Manager of Digital Platform and Analytics, Nate Renjabal, our Managing Director and New Practices and Solutions Leader with Cherry Beckert. We have John Schrader, Cherry Beckert Director and Business Applications Leader for Microsoft Practice. And finally, we'll hear from Jeff Kershevsky, Cherry Beckert Director and Microsoft Practice Leader. Jeff couldn't make it to today's webinar, so he will deliver his content and comments via video, and we'll show that to you at a later time. So everyone, including the panel, thank you all for being here today. Let's get started. First up, we're going to hear from Jake with a demo of Power Platform. All right, Jake, take it away.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming today. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce a few polling questions just to get an idea of what you guys are where you guys are in your journey. We hope that these help. The first polling question, my organization uses Microsoft. Select all that apply. Okay, thank you all for submitting your answers here. I'm going to read. We have majority of the people here do not use their Microsoft subscription to the fullest potential, and they're here to learn, which is great because that's what we're here for. So the second one was mostly people who are tactically using this already. And hopefully we can take that result and give you guys a little bit more to go with. So to introduce myself, my name is Jake Siegel. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I'm a solutions architect in the business process automation section of Cherry Beckert, and I've been working with the Power Platform for about 6 years now. Thank you all for coming today. I'm excited to show you a little bit more about what you guys can do with your Microsoft subscriptions. Today, mostly I'm going to focus on Power Apps and Power Automate, and a few use cases around how you can use those to better organize and manage your organization. The first demonstration that I'm going to show you guys is a skills management automation solution, a place for you to organize all of your employees, their skills, competencies, and resumes. And you can use this in HR, resource management, marketing, project management to help you pick out your resources and use them for their specific talents and their specific uses. So I'm going to take the screen and show you guys. Well, okay, before I do that, secondly, the second use case I'm going to demonstrate for you guys is a change management solution, which is unique for, not unique for any industry. This is something that you can use in HR, in engineering, in any of your places where you have documents that change. So the idea is a Power App that allows you to view drawings, documents that need to change, and build some process around how that works. So I'm going to take the screen here and show you. For our internal team, I built an application that allows us to track our skills and certifications and resumes so that managers can pick out resources for projects. So an easy example is being able to choose the right person for incoming work for a consulting firm. So you have a pipeline of projects that have a multitude of different skills and different requirements. You need to staff that project, and so you come to an application that you've built that has everybody's skills and whatnot. So this was built as a Canvas app. Everything is tied to a SharePoint list, and it's all managed in the Power Platform as a solution. So we're able to use this as a production solution. We're able to test it as a QA solution. It's all built out with an application lifecycle management. The idea being that you can build things to allow you to help organize and structure your data in your environment. One of the benefits of having Power Apps be your main place to store your applications and your user applications is that you can embed them in places like Teams. For example, I have a team that is for demos that we use, and here I embedded our same app in Teams. So opening up the Teams application, you can go to your team, go to applications, and find easily in one place your applications. This is an idea of a drawing management tool or a document management tool. We have in our business a couple clients that are large electrical companies, and what they have used this for is building out a system to view and manage changes to drawings and build projects around them. So an engineering drawing or an electrical drawing, something of the sort that changes somewhat frequently, would need a place for you to view that PDF, manage changes around it, and then be able to trail an audit trail back to see, hey, we did this here and then, this here and then, this there, here and then. So this is also a Canvas app just tied to a document library in SharePoint that allows you to view a PDF and request changes on that PDF. So you could take that and take a changelog. And add that to your changes, add the change, and see it pop up in your changelog. Easy demo examples of things that can be applied across the board in any of your industries, in any of the facets of your company. These two tools alone can help you automate and build governance around your processes and allow you to really manage your business processes in an organized way. So what I've shown you is a few tools that can take your business processes to the next level. A lot of organizations already use Outlook, Teams, SharePoint to govern and manage their data. But what they don't understand is that with those same subscriptions, they can harness these other tools, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power BI, to allow them to automate their processes, build governance around their data, and prepare visualizations for future endeavors. All of these practices, all of these organization ideas will allow you to prepare yourself for future AI endeavors, co-pilot endeavors. The more organized you are, the more clean your data is, the better off you are in the future. And with that, I think I'm going to bring up the next polling question. My organization is most interested in automation opportunities. Please select all that apply. Thank you all for your input. It looks like the majority of everyone is interested in opportunities that involve business critical workflows and include one or more electronic signature steps. That's excellent. We have a few more opportunities to explain to you all, and I'm going to pass that along to Nate to explain.
All right. Thanks very much, Jake. Hi, everyone. My name is Nate Regenball. I'm a managing director in our digital advisory group. I've been involved. I'm going to speak to some of the AI opportunity as well as some of our experiences in product management. But just to follow on what Jake had demonstrated around workflows for key content within the organization. In the demo, we saw resumes. We also saw a document change control solution. There's tremendous opportunity for applying natural language processing on that content in motion, including as was shown in the poll results, for workflows that involve an electronic signature step somewhere along the way. So first, I'm going to speak to just some of the solutions that Microsoft offers that would be utilized in some of these AI solutions. So here on the slide, we're listing several of them, from Azure AI Studio to Copilot Studio to Microsoft Fabric, Azure Cognitive Services, and so on. Microsoft technologies will cover all the way down from the data layer to the automations in between, up to the presentation layer where your business users are going to be interacting with this information on a day-to-day basis. As you look at some of these tools, you might be wondering, well, which ones am I supposed to use? This is something that our team helps you with. The functionality, the use case, what, will be determined by the technology how, and that's something that we can help you with. All right, moving forward onto the next slide. There's been a lot of buzz and increasing awareness regarding Microsoft's everyday AI companion, Copilot. And so I'm going to run through just a couple of slides that highlight what Copilot is able to do. And there's two threads to this, really. One are the Copilot use cases that come, call it, out of the box with Microsoft 365. And then there are the Copilot use cases that are configured using the Copilot Studio suite of tools. So what we're showing here are just some summary use cases. In slide number 12 or slide number 13, we can see some use cases for Microsoft Excel. Imagine clicking the Copilot ribbon on Excel and using that everyday AI assistant to start asking questions of your data or to automate tasks. There are embedded Copilot capabilities within Microsoft Teams, within M365 Chat and PowerPoint. And the capabilities of this technology are really listed at the top of this slide. It can create content. It can help you revise content. You can ask questions of your data. You can get caught up if you miss a meeting. It will analyze and synthesize the transcript from the meeting, identifying action items, to-dos, things for you to do, other key themes, and it can understand. Having a background in AI as part of the launch of IBM Watson and having led an AI startup, some of these use cases that Copilot can do around identifying thematic similarities across content can be very valuable for content discovery. And for example, what do the marketing messaging that have the highest response rates, what do they have in common thematically? So there's some really valuable use cases that you can get with Microsoft Copilot out of the box, as well as some of the more sophisticated workflows that we can compose for you. Let's move to the next slide, please. On that notion of composing workflows for you, what you're looking at on this slide, including the pun on the left that shows ifs, ands, and bots. That's me stringing together a dad joke along with a Boolean logic reference. So you're welcome for that. There's a notion that you can compose using this architecture, a vertical architecture that starts with what users are going to be accessing a screen and what content are they going to be interacting with the Copilot and other technologies. And so as I direct your attention to the right-hand side of the screen, these are some, call it, art of the possible use cases that hopefully inspire you to think about some use cases that would be valuable in your organization. So I'd already mentioned the first bullet that you see on the right-hand slide, which is marketing summarizes or finds themes common to high-performing marketing or social content. If we skip down a few other bullets, recruiting finds common themes across in-demand resources. And if we pull in what Jake had just spoken about our Power Automate app for managing skills and resumes, once you get that workflow in place, you can almost just layer on top an AI use case that starts and automates the asking of information or asking of insights about the information that you already have. And then lastly, and to demonstrate how this one architecture has such broad applicability across an organization, we could look at how field technicians find the best options for fixing equipment installed at a customer location. Or another example is, teachers, they can find out what what do the materials that students used to prepare for a test and got the highest scores, what do those materials have in common with each other? And now we can go into the world of education or performance management to help nudge people in the best direction. So it's an interesting use of natural language processing in a best next action use case. Next slide, please. So the question that we always get is, well, it sounds great. How do we get started? And so we've put together a repeatable approach where we get members of your team together, call it the folks from the business, who have these ideas on what challenges are worth solving and what is the value of solving those problems, along with members from your technology team, whether it's IT or technology or your enterprise content management team, the people who really know where the content is and how it is secured, how it can be accessed, and how it can be pulled together in some of those reference architectures so that it's secure and useful in answering the questions that you have. So we offer a format where we get with you for 1 or 2 days, and we facilitate really, a session that helps you understand what it is and what it can do, the technology, and not just Copilot, but all of these natural language processing and automation technologies, because not every use case is going to be an AI use case. And that refers back to, don't worry about which tools are involved or which ingredients go into the meal. We'll handle that for you. What you really want is just a delicious meal that's going to provide nourishment for your organization. So we'll help you identify what are the use cases, get everyone inspired on what the art of the possible is. But then we get really practical and pragmatic quickly by identifying the use cases, scoring them, determining how feasible they are, and then we'll give you a roadmap on how to move forward. We've been talking about some internal use cases, and this was featured in a polling question. What are some of the use cases that are most important to us, to you on the call? And that's for internal users, better work experience, take the cost out of work, make people more productive, elevate skills to the next level, automate where you can. But in terms of making the most of your Microsoft investment, you can also utilize it to compose solutions for growth and for go-to-market. And so I'm going to pull in my colleague, John Schrader, and we will together present on some of these use cases. Can you please go to the next slide? I will say just a couple of comments to get us kicked off on what it is we're going to be talking about. And then John and I will be going back and forth, as well as Jake will be coming back in to do a demonstration of the electronic signature product that we not only are getting ready to use ourselves, but we actually built this thing and got it launched on the Microsoft Marketplace up on AppSource. So on this slide, we see that we're going to be featuring products from 2 different companies, Verdox, a next generation electronic signature experience, very developer friendly, lower total cost of ownership. And then Pice Energy Solutions. So that's Pice rhymes with spice. They are an electric grid controls solution organization, and we worked with them to help get one of their products up on the Azure Marketplace. Okay, Verdox. So I'm going to give a quick summary of who and what Verdox is. On the left side of the slide, we're just summarizing that Verdox is the first truly embeddable e-signature experience within Microsoft's commercial cloud. For those who have experience with other popular platforms, they sometimes have been described as siloed. Imagine if you can have all of your workflows within your Microsoft cloud, including in Teams, getting templates, routing them, signing them, having them stored where they need to be stored, a dashboard that shows you the state of everything in that process, all within Teams without having to hop out to another browser experience. That's what this technology can do. As we take a look at the diagram on the right, this summarizes just our work with them. They were an existing SaaS electronic signature company, but they had this idea of, hey, Microsoft needs an embedded, better, lower total cost of ownership electronic signature experience. And so we helped them with their productization journey, and there are a couple of products. You'll find them up on AppSource. We helped establish an alliance model with them. The way that we go to market is through our industry verticals, and we have about a dozen of them. So I'm sure that for all the folks attending the call today, we've got specificity in the industry from which you come. And so we've composed several repeatable industry-specific use cases across those industries, and that is how we help Verdux go to market, we go to market together. And so I'm going to close on just a comment that working with Microsoft on this, not only being able to reach out to their technology leaders, but also the people who helped us in our journey of getting the Verdux products launched on the marketplace have just been wonderful to work with. So it's very possible. There's definitely a path to you finding your digital assets, productizing them, and putting them on the marketplace, and we can help with that. So I just want to give a shout out to the team at Microsoft for their collaborations. But as promised, I'm going to pass this back over to Jake. Jake, you're going to share your screen and just do a quick demo of some of the Verdux experience.
Hello again, everyone. Today I put together a quick use case of a flooring company that has a bunch of projects, and in those projects they create requests for materials, and then those materials go to vendors that the company works with closely, so they have a relationship already, and sends them a purchasing document for e-signature that would have material amounts and price and whatnot, with the idea being that the company that is the flooring company has all of their e-signature stuff in one place, and it's all automated so that they can send their signatures and approvals quickly. So for this example, we got Dan, his house, his basement. He wants bright pink shag carpet, and we're going to get this from Magic Carpets, and we're going to say it's going to be $200. So we're going to send this for signature, and it's going to run a Power Automate that has a Verdux action in it that says send this signature for approval. So first off, I have a Teams approval, which is kicked off by a workflow, and that looks like this. So inside of your Teams app, you get an approval request, and it has some details in it, and we're going to say 100 square feet of bright pink shag carpet for Magic Carpets, and I'm going to approve this, and this is going to kick off the rest of the workflow. And as you can see, we'll say finally approved, and it will send that envelope with the e-signature to the vendor. And so we can see that. This is my approval. I pre-baked the other one. So here's my final approved, and we can see the e-signature in Teams. 29 seconds ago, here's my PDF that's waiting on someone else to sign it. So as you can see, inside of Teams, we have our whole dashboard, and this shows a whole bunch of our test documents. We have our templates this is my purchase detail one, and we have all of our envelopes. These are the recent pending, completed. So when you open it up, this is just a basic envelope with purchase details. You also get an email, which looks like this. And you can take that to the web as well. And all of this is available on the web as well. So both in Teams and in the web.
What you just watched Jake demonstrate, and we should have had a polling question for this, which is, who likes finding a Word document in an email, opening up, clicking Save As, and renaming it version 1.1.final_next final. With this workflow, you can templatize the documents, your standard contracts, you templatize it. And then what Jake showed on the front end of this experience is you use a form to enter in the content that then goes and gets put into that template. The whole thing gets packaged up, and then it gets sent out for an e-sig flow. So, whether you're in, I'll pick an industry, commercial real estate, and you've got, millions of dollars of letters of intent and commercial real estate leases sitting in someone's inbox, where visibility is next to impossible, and you can't ask questions of that pipeline. Imagine if you lifted all of that out of email, which your users will thank you for, and you put it in to a workflow on the Microsoft cloud that uses next generation developer friendly e-signature technology, right? The lack of silos and the fact that it's natively integrated is really valuable from a developer friendliness perspective. You can play with it, you can pilot use cases. If you don't like it, spin it down. If you do love it, this could enable not only time savings for existing processes, but it can enable entirely new experiences, whether it's on your website, in a mobile app. It's really the power of this embedded technology and how you can show everything in a dashboard that says, what do I have? What am I doing next? Unless you really love opening up redlined Word documents and emails named version final v4. All right, thank you, Jake. I'm going to say a couple of words just on the next one, and then I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, John Schrader, who's going to comment on this. The reason that we're featuring Pice Energy Solutions is this was a wonderful relationship where our organizations worked with each other. We didn't just work for Pice, but we worked with Pice to help them scale their business. Pice has an amazing team, intellectual property in the space of the next the grid of the 21st century, where you've got bidirectional flow of energy. It's no longer power generation goes down transmission lines and then goes to a distribution lines out to the homes and businesses. With electric vehicles and solar and wind and hydro, you now have bidirectional flow of energy on the grid, and that causes it to be just unstable. So Pice has technology that can help address that issue and allow for the future of renewable energy that we all need. And so we got engaged with Pice because they had really a project-focused business model. They have this amazing technology, and they said, how can we productize this as part of our scaling strategy and make it available as a transactable offer on the Azure Marketplace? And so that's what we did with them across this wonderful journey, highlights of which are in the figure on the right-hand side of this slide. But I'm going to pass it over to John Schrader to speak more about our work with Pice. John?
Thanks, Nate. Hey, team. My name is John Schrader, and I live in beautiful Greenville, South Carolina. I'm a director here at Cherry Bekaert and help to lead the Microsoft software delivery team. I've been with Cherry Bekaert about 5.5 years and have a lot of years of experience in software architecture, development, and delivery within various industries. Our team, our Microsoft team here at Cherry Bekaert focuses primarily on Microsoft 365, the Power Platform, Analytics, Azure Cloud, Dynamics, AI, and Copilot. So I'm glad to be here today as part of this webinar. So far, Jake and Nate have really been discussing areas within your Microsoft investment that is called low code or no code type technologies and solutions. So the Power Platform, Teams, SharePoint, a lot of the different technologies within the Microsoft 365 suite. I'm going to switch gears now and talk about a completely custom or a pro code solution that Cherry Bekaert helped Pice Energy Solutions deliver to the marketplace. This is a completely custom .NET software solution, and it runs in Microsoft Azure Cloud. Traditionally, energy companies have run much of their software within their own local data centers, but many energy companies now are trying to see the power of the Azure Cloud and trust the exceptional security that Microsoft has in place within Azure. So this new Pice product is called IEEE 2030.5 server, and it handles the distributed energy resources, or the DERs for short. That could be solar, batteries, wind, a lot of renewable energy resources, and those resources that have a smart inverter in them that can communicate via the 2030.5 protocol over the internet. The key piece to this is it's not using a proprietary network that a utility company has to build out to collect information and to send information to these devices. And so it's an internet-based protocol that's really becoming standard in many countries around the world, as well as the states in the US. So it's an up and coming protocol, and Pice is kind of ahead of the curve. Pice has a robust software engineering team already in place, and they have quite a few projects and solutions already available, but they had limited experience with Microsoft Azure Cloud and Azure Marketplace. So we were really brought in as a partner to help them launch this new software product within the marketplace and within making it cloud native. And so I think that was the key piece to this partnership that we have with Pice. And not only did we help them, build this solution, and we built with them and not for them. So it was a collaborative effort between their software engineering team and our delivery team. And so not only do we help them with this cloud native product, but we also help them launch it in the Azure Marketplace to make it a transactable offer that their customers could go to the marketplace and download and install all within a few clicks. And so we help them automate that process, and it's a lot of kind of infrastructure as code work to enable that within the marketplace as an Azure managed app. So while my team and I work closely with Pice's software engineering team, Nate worked closely with their product management and marketing and executive team really to help bring this product to reality. Overall, it's been a great journey so far, and we're proud of our strong relationship with Pice. One other thing I did want to mention is Cherry Bekaert is a Microsoft partner, and we are partnered closely with Microsoft to bring this product to the Azure Marketplace. Their support at Microsoft has been outstanding, from access to technical resources on specific Azure platform services, but also help around offer listing process within that marketplace itself. They've been great to work with. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jeff Kershevsky, who was not able to join us today live, but has a pre-recorded session around the Microsoft Analytics platform.
Hi, I'm Jeff Kershevsky. I'm a director with our digital advisory services at Cherry Bekaert and Microsoft practice leader. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Azure Data Lake and the Lakehouse journey and what it can mean for your business. So a couple of terms we really want to align on at the onset is what a data lakehouse is. So you've heard of data lake and you've heard of data warehouse. And so what I like to do is look at the data lake as kind of like a farmer's market where you have raw ingredients, fruits and vegetables from farm, and everything is in its native form. In the data space, that would be equivalent to raw and structured data, whether it's videos, images, text, whatnot. Data warehouse is more like a restaurant where recipe's been used to carefully curate the ingredients and put together something that customer is really excited about, taking a bite of. And a data lakehouse really combines these two concepts and is more like your Whole Foods farmers gourmet market type of analogy. The data lakehouse provides you the benefit of keeping your structured and unstructured data together and being able to get insights out of it. So what does this journey look like? Well, the data lakehouse journey really starts by first unlocking value using your Azure Data Lake. Here you're going to use Synapse, Databricks, and Microsoft Azure Cloud as the foundational piece of this journey. Next, you'll start using Azure services around data governance and advanced analytics to really kind of understand the data lineage, data cataloging type capabilities that Azure brings to the table. And you'll want to architect your future and future-proof your data estate by using Azure's technologies to really fortify, with Azure security capabilities, your data estate in this data lakehouse. And finally, now that you've got your data secure guardrails in place, you really want to look for how your Azure Data Lakehouse drives business impact to maximize the return on your Microsoft investment. So first, unlocking value in the data lakehouse journey really starts with data engineering, data warehousing, bringing data in. Here, you want to overcome the limitation of traditional data warehouses and data marts by using this foundational scalable platform to support data types of all kinds, structured, semi-structured, and so forth. How does Azure help? Azure provides you all of these things at your fingertips. Next, now that you've got the data in your Azure Data Lake, you want to apply governance and enforce policies through code and other tools. Here, you're gonna set up a data catalog to understand the type of data that you have. You'll classify that data. You'll use things like Azure Purview or Microsoft Purview to understand the lineage of data, so everybody knows, what the source of truth is. You'll also be able to start gathering powerful business insights through advanced analytic capabilities like cognitive search, Azure AI. You'll fortify this future by using this unified data storage. And here we're showing an example of what a data lakehouse architecture looks like from Cherry Bekaert. It's a little bit architecty, but you can kind of get a sense of the different pieces and how they come together from data source through analysis. Well, you really want to unleash the power of your Azure Data Lakehouse by driving business impact. So using the platform like Azure Data Lake Storage, Azure Databricks, Purview, Azure AI, Azure Search, it really comes down to finding use cases that are relevant for you and your business. The Lakehouse benefits these things by providing you scalability and flexibility. It helps you manage your resources more efficiently with cost management. It helps you streamline your operations with operational efficiency, and allows you to make all your decisions become data-driven decisions. Guardrails are in place with an Azure Data Lake and Azure Data Lakehouse architecture, so risk management and compliance become a first-class citizen. But the most important is to foster a culture of innovation within your company. And innovation and maintaining that market competitiveness is key. And that's the true value that implementing Azure Data Lakehouse can bring to your organization. And with that, I'll pass it to Nate.
Thank you. All right, following those comments by Jeff Krzyzewski, here is polling question number 3. What is the key challenge you face, or opportunity, if we invert that, or opportunity to improve regarding your data strategy? And we want you to select one, please. And your options are data and process governance. In other words, who owns it? Who owns this data or process? Who's responsible for keeping it current, clean, quality, etc.? The quality of that data itself, is it accurate? Is it complete? Is it consistent? And so on. Everyone knows this one, right? Our data is all over the place. How can we pull it together so that we can ask questions of that data? And then lastly, do we know the right questions to ask of our data? And it's not just data, but it's also your unstructured content, referring back to Jake's use case on resume management and skills. What is the right person for this job right now? So we'll give you another handful of seconds to respond to this, please. Oh, perfect. All right, so it looks like the winner of this one was that our data is all over the place. I could refer you to my pre-recorded friend, Jeff, who is actually much more charming in real life. We'd be happy to have a conversation with you on how to bring all of that together. But, as we think about imagine a concentric circle here, data strategy in the middle, governance, who owns it, and what are the right questions to ask of it? That's going to be later on out in the visualization layer. Those are all very important parts. So don't just focus on one without keeping the others in mind. It's very important to think of this holistically. All right, thank you. All right, next slide, please. As a firm, so to introduce Cherry Bekaert very briefly, we're a 75-plus-year-old integrated professional services firm. We are ourselves under our own digital transformation journey. Led at the top, Jeff had mentioned, a culture of innovation. So we have a CEO-led initiative that helps guide us along our journey. And the diagram on the right, of course, it has our cultural tenets in the center. All of this is possible because we're focusing on what matters most. Built into the name digital transformation, it implies change. So as you move through this period of change, what keeps everyone sane and aligned? And that is going to be your culture. So how is our digital transformation manifesting, if you will? And here are some examples that go around the diagram on the right. So how we deliver value to our clients. We're enhancing, using Microsoft technologies and other technologies, how we serve our clients. All right, we are undergoing our own Lakehouse initiative. Like I'm sure the companies represented by each of you on this call, You are certainly data and content rich, but you may be insights poor or insights improving. And one way to drive improvement and to capitalize and monetize, be better operationally, is to utilize that data, and a Lakehouse initiative can get you on the right path. At 4 o'clock on the screen, we have automations, including deal flow and Verdocs. So we're a professional services firm. We have NDAs, MSAs, statements of work, engagement letters, all sorts of contracts. And it really helps when you can automate when those things go out, on which template, when they come back in, where to store them, who reviews them, all of the steps along the way that you could easily diagram in a tool like Microsoft Visio, and then using a low-code, no-code platform like Power Automate, turn it into a real digital experience in your cloud tenant using your information. I do want to mention, in the context of AI, imagine using a co-pilot step in a Power Automate flow regarding signing a contract, and you use Copilot to determine if a contract appears to contain verbiage that you might not want to find after having signed that document. Well, compose a step in a Power Automate flow that says apply Copilot, see if a particular offending phrase or something like something else appears in that document, and then set a rule to halt the workflow and send it up to a reviewer. All right, so really, if you can think of it and diagram it, then you can do it. But back to the story, we are ourselves, as part of our digital advisory team, incorporating this technology into how we do our contracts management. At the very bottom, I'd mentioned that we go to market with an industry solutions strategy. We have many repeatable use cases powered by Microsoft technology that we offer. It's simpler to have conversations with clients when you say, hey, look, here's a starting point. Instead of showing up with a bunch of ingredients that say we can do everything, let's show up with a very nourishing and delicious meal that says, hey, this is a great starting point. How can we help you get up and running quickly? And we've done enough reps of these projects that we have design patterns and delivery methodologies that help you get up and running very quickly too. Of course, you have all of this data. How can you make better decisions on it? How can you visualize it? How can you trust it and make better decisions going forward? And then that, of course, it all boils down to, at the center of that jawbreaker candy, who owns the data? What is our business strategy? And so I just wanted to mention that, we're not only helping clients with this, but we're going through this process ourselves. And so we can not only serve you, but have conversations about how to do it right, how to manage the organizational change. With that, I'm going to pass it back over to Steve, who's going to give us some closing comments. And then following that, I think we're going to have some Q&A. So back to you, Steve, and thank you.
Great. Thank you, Nate. All right, everyone. Yeah, just a few closing comments here. Just recognizing, there are many forces driving your need to transform, whether it's because of your competitive landscape, or you need to drive out costs via automation, or there's a change in regulatory requirements. As Nate, John, and Jake showed, your Microsoft investment can also help you not only with those requirements, but it can also be used to drive growth. Okay, great content. Thank you, panelists, for all the great content today. I would now like to take an opportunity to open up the next 5 minutes or so for questions. If you do have any questions, please post them in the question and answer chat, wherever you need to send them in. We'll have everybody on camera here to be able to answer those. So I'll give everybody a minute to kind of digest all the great content here and get your questions in. So again, please enter any questions in the questions and answer or the chat if you need to. Let's see. We do have a question around what our point of view is on working with Microsoft to get a product launched on their marketplace. So Nate, would you like to speak to that?
I can speak to it briefly, but I think this would be best managed by John. Overall, we can help along that end-to-end process. We, members of your Cherry Becker team on this call bring not only the technology experience, but product management, CTO roles, CEO roles. And so it really is a journey. It's not just technology focused, but you need to marry up your commercial model, your technology, and then understand what is possible on the Microsoft platform and on the Microsoft Marketplace. So that's my kind of high level summary, but I think I want to pass it over to John to take the rest
Yeah,
of it.
sure, Nate. Thanks. As we showed today, there's two products that we helped last year our customers and clients launch. One was the Verdox product within the Microsoft App Source and Team Store, and that's a product that's available today. And then also Pice with the Azure Marketplace, which is a separate marketplace from the App Source and the Team Store. And so, both of those we work closely with Microsoft to launch in those various marketplaces, and then all their customers can just come to those marketplaces and really just download and open and buy and purchase and operate right then and there on those marketplaces. But Microsoft helps us and helps you move your workloads maybe to the Azure cloud if you're working on premise. Also, maybe if you're in a different cloud, Azure might be cheaper and might be better and faster. And then, they also help us evaluate existing workloads like we talked about, moving from AWS or Google to Azure. And would it be beneficial to you? And then, as we worked with them in the various marketplaces that they have, the Azure Marketplace, the App Source, the Team Store, those are the marketplaces that we can work with Microsoft and help you guys, you do that. And then accelerating our go to market and co-sell opportunities as well to other partners and partner with other groups to do that. So yeah, Microsoft's been instrumental in helping us with our clients as well as our clients get to the marketplace.
Great. Okay, hopefully that answered that question, John. Thank you. I think it's related to the marketplace as well. We have another question. If you're aware of any the biggest objections that clients have about building apps on the Microsoft platform, have you encountered any big objections, maybe around security, et cetera?
No, there's sometimes unique pricing things that some of our clients want to do, and we've been able to work with Microsoft on getting those pricing. So maybe it's per device pricing, and so how do we communicate then within the marketplace to Microsoft that, hey, this is how many devices they have, so this is how it's invoiced or this is how it's billed. But we've been able to work through that with them, and they've been great to work with in launching products in their marketplaces. They have a team that really walks you through the process initially and gets you onboarded as a customer with Microsoft directly.
And I'll just add to that. So thank you, John. Thanks, Steve. I'll just add to that. It all boils down to what is your business strategy. Our experience on launching products on the marketplaces are, you ask the fundamental questions: how are we going to make money on this, right? Is it going to have an upfront fee? Is it a SaaS? Is it an Azure managed application? Is there going to be some sort of consumption-based pricing? How many things that you have created or how many transactions you have processed? The back end in Microsoft Partner Center for configuring public or private price plans that are either fixed priced or variable pricing based on different events. It's a very flexible platform, but it requires that we have time to plan for this. So you want to be aligned on what is your commercial model, how are you going to monetize this. Then we help clients understand architecturally what needs to be in the product that is transmitting out, and many on this call would know, how do you phone home up to Microsoft so that you can meter the consumption, and then reconciling that with the configurations available in Partner Center as that part of configuring your offering. So we help bring it all together and help you keep organized on that, as well as several other checklist items. So it is knowable. There is a journey through navigating that path, but no objections. It's really just understanding your business strategy and the product monetization model, and then getting that harmonized with the technology.
Okay, great. Thanks, Nate. It looks like we have time for one final question. It's around Cherry Becker utilizing Verdox. Jake, I believe you have an example of how we might be able to use that in Cherry Becker with our SOW process. Is that correct?
Sure, yeah. So our SOW process, we template and we can put those documents into Verdox. And we use Teams approvals internally to do the same thing, where we'll have business come in, we'll write up a statement of work, and it will go into this process sent for approvals. And eventually, once it's approved, it'll go through to wherever it's supposed to go as an eDocs e-signature, as a Verdocs e-signature.
And
Okay.
I'll add color to that. So what Jake had mentioned just around using templates, and forgive me for my comments earlier and kind of quips about redlined version 1.1.final. Really getting out of email and putting it into a workflow and structuring it it can't not be the way forward for so many workflows involving e-sig. And the ability to use, for example, a data-rich Power Page to in the world of staffing companies, for example, there's a document called a right to represent, and that's the staffing company representing the person who they're staffing. Right? You can put a form on a website, you fill in the name, email, it automatically populates it into a document and tees it up into an e-sig package and sends it out. And now the whole thing is done. It's like almost single click. In our case, to answer the question, as Jake had mentioned, yes, we're getting more templatized. We're making it single click approvals. Of course, you're going to open up the document and review it, but it's not going to be an email back that says, I approve, that you might have missed because the approver sent it at 2:30 in the morning, right? So having it all state flow governed in a single pane of glass is a great use case for low or no code automation. And then as mentioned, if you want to layer on some Copilot to make it a little fancier, you can do that as well.
Great. Perfect. Okay, I believe we've come up close to the top of the hour. So again, thank you to our panel, to everyone for being here. This concludes our webinar. So thank you again for joining us. If you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate. Anything about our topic, any of the topics today, please reach out.